My name's Rowena Skews. I'm a project officer with Precision Pastures, and I'm here with Richard Post from Glenavon, Angus. I'm just going to ask you about your enterprise, Richard. Could you just tell us a little bit about it, where you are?
Sure. We're at Guyra, northern New South Wales, northern Tablelands. 3 enterprises, all grazing, about 10,000 DSE each, which is seed stock cattle, commercial cattle, and a prime lamb enterprise. More recently, there's been a bit of a shift in those enterprises, but historically they've been very equal in land area. We have 3 full-time staff and a part-time staff member outside of my wife, Prue, and I, and we run that on about 2,500 hectares.
Awesome. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of your soil health issues that you've had in the past.
Yeah. So we've got a really interesting mix of country, even though it's all within 5 kilometres of each other. There's a few different farms that are all at very different stages of production. Prue's family place, where her family's been for a long time, is very productive, probably runs sort of towards the higher end of stocking rate for the New England, reflecting the many generations of her family and the improvements made there. Soaks up a lot of water, grows a lot of grass, and we also have places that we've purchased more recently that have very low production, that are in the process of renovating and trying to close the gap between the amount of stock that they will run and where we live, if that makes sense. A big constraint that we've sort of found there is compaction on one of the places that we've bought. Just to the obvious bystander, it won't hold water. There's really just been a few different types of native species of grass that have persisted with the previous owner's production system. So our constraint there, whilst many and varied and detailed, really comes down to a set stocking regime for the best part of a century and high compaction from running set stock regime of sheep. So that's one of the challenges that we've had, that even in the first couple of years of renovating that farm in particular, we feel we're growing a lot more grass, and we're in the early stages of measuring and quantifying that turnaround, but it's heading the right way.
Yes. So in that same breath, have you thought about doing a soil carbon project on any of your properties?
Yes, we have actually, and if I turn the clock back 3 years ago, the whole reason I came to Beef Week for the first time, which was due to Hamish Webb and his wife Jess's guidance, was that I was looking at this space. We'd recently purchased properties that were very underperforming. We were looking to renovate them. I was reasonably new to the carbon space, and there was a lot on offer here at Beef Australia even 3 years ago in the carbon space. So I did a couple of property tours, went to pretty much the entire day of carbon presentations and met with every project developer. And that sort of got me to the point where I felt like I had the tools that I needed to make a decision. What the last bit was whether it actually made sense for us. And I therefore, my next step with the help of Precision Pastures team was to quantify and mimic what a soil carbon project would look like for our varying farms at the different stages of production, and quantify out my starting point, try and do a best estimate as I could as to what we were going to change with our operation. And with the IP that Precision Pastures has from doing this type of thing in the New England for a long time, I was able to get a guide as to, well, if I'm going to do that, that's likely to drive this meaningful move in soil carbon. So I think we had a great outcome from the carbon starter report that quantified all that, and it was the last piece of the puzzle that fell into place for us to commit to a project. So we signed up about 2.5 years ago. Our baseline was done coming up 2 years ago. So we're at the very early stages of our 25-year commitment, but probably fair to say it's a big priority for us, and we're doing everything that we can in our first 5 to 10 years to see if it's going to line up and be a meaningful part of our business.
Yes. Okay. We might wrap that up. Thank you so much,
No worries.
Richard. That was very insightful.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rowena.
Enjoy the rest of your beef.
Great. My pleasure. Lovely.